Leadership is becoming far more complex in the 21st century. In fact, the kinds and approaches that we used to have in the past is no longer enough to go ahead and solve the problems of tomorrow. Global coaching is indeed an approach to go ahead and broaden and deepen our perspectives on leadership. There are 6 different perspectives that Philippe covers here and we covered in our seminar on global leadership and coaching. One is around the physical perspective. The second is around the managerial. Then we moved on to the psychological, cultural, political, and spiritual perspectives. We had the pleasure of having Philippe Rosinski facilitate this entire session. Philippe comes with tremendous experience and vast credentials. He is the first master certified coach in all of Europe. He is a visiting professor at the Kenichi Ome Institute in Tokyo. And he was also previously in the Center for Creative Leadership in Europe, looking after leadership program development. In fact, it is his passion around people and leadership development that translated into his authorship of 2 books. In fact, these books are recommended reading at Harvard. We believe that his facilitation has transformed the results of this program.
The depth which he lent to leadership, which comes from all his richness of and diversity of experiences, made us realize that he would be the right person when we're introducing leadership solutions through our company to make Philippe be part of it. So we're very happy to have him as part of Global Coaching Lab's mentor coaching, as well as a person who can deliver some of these programs for us.
In a leadership program, it is important that we go through a variety of experiences. When we started off, I think what we started off with is a simple give-get. To go ahead and say, what will every leader bring to this entire workshop or seminar, and what will they want to get out of it? In addition, we also looked at creating a safe environment where everybody felt comfortable showcasing vulnerability. We also wanted to provide the opportunity for each one of them to come together to engage in peer coaching. This is where the diversity of the entire group helped. In fact, of the number of activities, experiential activities that we went through, whether it be doing the physical exercises, whether it be acting out the archetypes, or even building collages, it is about understanding ourselves even better.
We felt that we could have 3 wonderful experts who could integrate along with Philippe and Venkat to deliver this program, and we brought in Seema Johari, who is a physical expert in the area of leaders, not just understanding that health is important and we need to eat right, but how do you really integrate it in this fast-paced, maddening world. And Seema brought in depth in terms of artistic yoga, because the program was happening for the first time in India and we wanted to leverage the age-old tradition of yoga. But even though we brought in yoga there, we ensured that we blended it in a way that it would cover strength, endurance, flexibility, balance, and most important, breath. So we had the wonderful opportunity of our international expert called Dr.Sudhir who integrated from the psychological perspective. And Dr. Kakkar is being considered as the 21 best thinkers of the 21st century, and we were privileged to have him as part of this program, where he spoke about how from the unconscious levels that leaders can tap into their decision making, can tap into how they can develop their people, can understand how predominantly 80 to 90% of our decision making happens from the unconscious level, and how by raising the awareness, how we can be better in our leadership and towards people development. And that came out very beautifully in his session. And there was another wonderful expert, and we thought it was good to get a performing artist as part of this program. We had something called the archetypes. Each one of us as an individual, as a human being, or as a leader, we all have multiple different personas right within us, and all of them exist. We choose to use some of them predominantly, and some of them are all lying there, just there and not getting utilized. But if we just increase utilizing that a little bit, the amount that it can influence our leadership can be multifolds, which is why we brought in one of the traditional experts in Bharatanatyam called Priya Venkatraman, a well-known personality in the classical dance repertoire, and she was able to integrate and make all the leaders who've not moved any of their muscles or have not moved any of their artistic performances out, and we were all able to do Bharatanatyam and bring out these archetypes within us. And that was the integration of the three experts in this program.
Any leadership program is only enhanced by the quality of the delegates that we are able to get in. In fact, the richness of the experience is enhanced when there is diversity in the audience. In fact, in this specific program, we had the occasion to have a number of managing directors, a number of regional leaders who were able to come together to appreciate the benefits of global leadership.
Fashion designers from Paris, technology experts, people from the hospitality industry and also from the travel industry, and all of them coming together, and it was just wonderful because each of them lent different depth to the perspective. And the third day, when we all spoke about, we did an activity called Fishbowl, where all the leaders talked about the complexities and the holographic paradigm for leadership in the 21st century. And that is when we saw how all these 6 perspectives really had the connecting dots. When people lent their understandings, when people lent their depth in terms of how each of these perspectives can be applied to leadership, it was actually quite revealing. And I would have to add that when people walked away with a certificate, people had tears in their eyes, and that really moved both the facilitators and me as an organizer. We were really touched, and this was what made this program even more richer, and we're looking forward to do the next one now.
I must admit that every session had an aha moment for me. Every session left certain unanswered questions in my mind. In fact, I would even say these were why there were no answers to these questions, because I had never asked these questions.
The archetypes, I think that session was amazing.
I think the best decision I made was that I came here.
The diversity of participants was wonderful.
What I always call the occult actually has a name, and it's the tip of the iceberg that we learned. So that's really a great recognition that that gut feel until now actually exists and has a certain value.
The situational leadership dimension, such a simple concept, and as I look at my to-dos, it's amazing that something so simple can be so insightful.
Life is like a race. You go on your marks, get set, and go. And for the longest time, I would tell all my friends, and I said, the saddest part is I'm still on get set. I haven't done go as yet. I feel what I'm taking away is that from today, my go starts.
The way the concepts were presented was very simple, but it was very deep. I genuinely feel that it will help me grow as a leader and help me kind of be a better leader to the team that I manage.
Thank you. I think it has been an absolute fantastic journey.
Here you have to really have the courage to look at yourself, to question yourself, to open up, to share with one another, and you have done that. So I really want to thank you.